Hello and welcome back to the Karma Stories podcast. I'm Rob and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Today I have 4 stories for you from the IDontWorkHereLady subreddit. The Karma Stories podcast is published to all major podcasting platforms, and you can also read along on YouTube under our @Karma Stories podcast handle. Alright, on to the stories, let's jump right in. This story comes to us from Casaran1. You don't know the price? Well, I'll smack you. This happened yesterday. I, 19 male, work with my uncle, 63 male, on his truck. We work delivering home appliances, mattresses, and we also move people around the city and the next 2 cities. But my uncle has a contract with VH Corp, a small company like Walmart, but focused on credit and home appliances, phones, tablets, hair dryers, hair trimmers, etc. My uncle and I do the deliveries for that company, delivery to the clients, to other shops under the name of VH, and to repair under warranty. Every store has at least 2 employees working, one in the cash register, and other on the main desk, both basically doing the same. I was just arriving to one of those shops under the name of VH, let's call it Shop N, and at the moment there was only one employee working at the desk since the other was on maternity leave. So we had to basically get the things ready, which were a 50-inch TV and 420-liter fridge. I focused on the TV and my uncle on the fridge. And something important is that they had a dress code at the company. A pink t-shirt with the logo on the left side of the chest, jeans, and shoes. While I was on joggers, tennis shoes, and a blue hoodie, which I use only when it's raining and cold. My uncle was wearing jeans, same tennis shoes as I, and a military green short sleeve shirt. I was focusing on unmounting the TV from the wall mount when a lady approaches me and asks me for the price of the TV. And I told her that I don't work there, but she could approach the main desk and ask for it. They thanked me, then I continued with the TV, until someone taps my shoulder, and there was a middle-aged woman with black short hair, shorts, and a floral blouse. Then, the following conversation ensues as I place the TV over its box to remove the wall mount. This conversation was in Spanish and we use a few expressions I'm not sure how to translate, so I'll do my best here. Also, I forgot to mention that the employee here was busy with another client on the front desk. I looked up at the woman standing up while being polite. "Hi miss, how can I help you?" "Excuse me, can you please let me know the price of this AC?" She points to the AC on display. "Well, I guess it should state the price on the AC. It has a cardboard with the price on it. That's the price if you want to buy it and pay via credit," I said as I nod softly, trying to help before looking back at the task on hand. "I saw the price already." "Very well then." I then focused back on the TV and unscrewing the wall mount. "Very well, that's too expensive. Are you trying to scam me?" I looked at her a bit confused. "Well miss, that's the price here. Price if you want to pay via credit, if I recall correctly. The price by paying cash or debit is 20% less." "If you recall correctly? Seriously? You're not even capable of remembering something from your own job? What a useless employee, sheesh." I realized that she misunderstood me as a worker of the shop. "Oh, sorry, but I don't work here miss. I'm just She cut me off and gives me a small smack on my back, almost making me lose balance and fall over the TV, since I was crouching. "You should be fired for being an incompetent and useless employee. Where's your manager?" At this point, I simply stammered a bit, since I'm bad with confrontations, and I was also shocked she just dared to hit me, even if it didn't hurt. And this is when my uncle enters the scene. He's a tall, thin guy, around 1.82 meters, while I'm just 1.73 meters. "Excuse me, but what's going on?" Karen looks at John, and she thinks that maybe he's a customer as well or something like that, as I try to focus on my task at hand and not think about this. "This employee is just disrespectful and useless. He doesn't remember the prices of the things on his own workplace." "Miss, he doesn't work here." She just ignores what John says and continues. "He should be fired. I would never hire someone like him, who I bet doesn't even remember his own name." "Miss, he's my nephew, and he works with me, not with the shop." "What the heck do you mean by that?" The woman looks confused now. I said, "As I just said moments ago, I don't work here. I'm just helping because the coworker of the woman in the main desk isn't here. and she can't do all of this alone and attend to customers. Karen at this point realizes and simply huffs and scoffs as she walked towards the main desk where Nellie is still working with the clients that were there before Karen. And she deals with Karen with ease as I focused on the TV, as I finished packing the TV and helped my uncle pack the fridge. Then, when Karen left and the other clients left as well, we sat down with Nellie and she told us that she tried to say that I gave her a wrong price and that I caused her trouble. She was basically demanding a discount over the AC and a washing machine, if I recall correctly, despite the fact that Nellie literally saw and heard our interaction from her desk, since it was like 2.5 meters away from her desk. She called Karen out of her bluff and even told her that if she doesn't leave, she would call the police for assaulting me, and there's security cameras around the shop. That's when she just left, embarrassed, and probably we won't see her for a while. I guess it wasn't as juicy as other stories, but still, how'd she dare to literally attack me for not knowing the price of something when I don't even work there directly? But in the end, Nellie bought a Coke and some bread for the troubles, and the woman never got her AC. OP added an update at the bottom. It says, "Update, okay, I just finished my route of deliveries with my uncle, and guess who received an AC, a TV, and a phone? If your guess is the Karen, well, your answer is correct." The interaction was a bit awkward since, due to delivery policies from the credit companies, or credit unions, I think they're called that in America, I guess, only she could receive, and I had to take photos of her, get her ID, and she had to sign some papers, etc. But in the end, she apologized and even offered me a cold beverage and some cookies, and even gave us a tip for the troubles. So in the end, everything was good. She apologized, and now I ate something and drank something cool for the heat. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, we have one from a user called NoPerformance8631. It says, "I thought Karens were an American thing. Sorry, Colombia." Another commenter below that, called Zach's Dad 295, replied and said, "It's a disease and it's spreading. Symptoms include bad hair, lack of self-awareness, violent outbursts, sudden feelings of importance, the delusion of authority, and the uncontrollable urge to talk to management to prove just how important they are. Bonus points available to them if they can get someone fired. Be afraid, people, they are coming." I'm a bit conflicted on this one because if somebody hits you, then there should be consequences for that person. It just so happens that they saw the same person later on and that person apologized. However, I do feel like something should have been done right after the incident. If Karen is allowed to be a Karen with no consequences, then there's nothing stopping them from doing it again at the next store they go to, and somebody could get seriously injured. This story comes to us from Takes It Wrong, berated for reading cereal boxes. Helpful background: I have a social anxiety disorder, which used to be completely debilitating, but now, after a lot of hard work, is fairly well managed. I navigate normal routine social interactions in small doses with minimal anxiety, and most always have a friend or family with me in public for moral support, and to intervene if I get overwhelmed by something. Hubby is great and has helped me a lot to become more functional. Somewhat relevant to this story is that he is 6'4" and what I call work fit. He doesn't go to the gym, he's not buff like that, but he's not scrawny either, because he works hard running a construction crew, working right alongside the guys. He's a calm, steady presence and never gets upset. The incident: hubby and I went to the Wally Mart to grab some quick groceries. I wanted to select a different cereal for a change, and the ones I was interested in were on the bottom shelf or two. So I squatted down next to our handbasket and began the process of reading ingredients and comparing my options. Grabbing a box and reading some, grabbing another, reading, put one back, try another, etc. I felt happy doing this, so hubby went a few aisles over to grab some PB&J. Enter Male Karen. Male Karen arrives and asks where some kind of sandwich spread is that I'd never even heard of. I'm now focused in on reading the cereal ingredients, so I don't even look up and just say, "I don't know." Well, get up off your butt and help me find it, or get someone who can. You're not really doing anything, just rearranging boxes, trying to look busy. You're not fooling me. I looked up shocked into a reddish, belligerent face looming over me with a finger pointing at nothing in particular. I shut down. I can't do anything but shake my head no and try to sink lower into the floor. I look back down at the box in my hand as my hair falls around my head, partly shielding me from my surroundings. Male Karen pushes my basket away from me into the middle of the aisle with his foot and begins berating me and all the lazy good-for-nothing workers of his imagination for not rushing to his service. I kind of fade out and only really perceive his tone and insistent, threatening presence at this point. Enter hubby. I am brought back to reality by the familiar presence of hubby as he plants one foot at my side between me and Male Karen, the other just at my back, and one hand gently on my head. Then he utters only 4 words in a tone I have never heard him use before, a couple of notches lower than his usually quiet manner, each word spaced out like it was its own sentence. You will leave now. I felt a danger chill go down my spine. Silence. I look up through my hair to see Redface has gone completely pale. Eyes wide, mouth silently opening and closing like a fish chasing an elusive invisible morsel. Suddenly, Male Karen turns and half walks, half jogs around the corner toward the front of the store with an odd shuffling gait, his head tucked towards his shoulders as though imitating a turtle. Hubby helps me up and makes sure I'm okay. I decide I need to go home, so we head quickly to the exit. Male Karen is nowhere to be seen. Guess he didn't need that sandwich stuff so badly after all. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, we have one from a user called Anakane. It says, he pulled out Scary Man just for OP. Any large and well put together bloke knows that you don't just pull out Scary Man in front of your loved ones because it can change their perception of you. This wasn't just a show of force and fear, OP. This was a show of trust in you too. He really is a keeper. Another commenter down below called Present Range 154 said, internet hugs from people who emphasize with your frustration of buttholes who think getting in people's faces is appropriate. OP responded to this one and said, thanks, I can't comprehend how such behavior seems so prevalent, intentional, and persistent. I don't know of a single example where it got the perpetrator anything other than loathing and alienation. Certainly not the outcome they demanded. Many people like that are broken, just in a different way than I am, and could also be more whole if they chose to work on it and let someone help them. It's just hard to imagine someone truly prefers to be that way and think it's okay. It sounds to me like Male Karen actually got off quite easy in this case because one of these days they're gonna treat somebody like that and somebody's going to give them an attitude adjustment. This story comes to us from CWU007. Wholesome, I don't work here. A recent negative story reminded me of this story. Background: this happened about 20 years ago. I had a cell phone, but this was before smartphones. I was an undergraduate student. I'm thinking about graduate school, so I'm signing up for one of those classes that help you prepare for the test. Within walking distance of my college was a shopping center. The main focus was a movie theater that the college used for classes during the day. There's a Starbucks, record store, salon, several restaurants, etc. in this shopping center. The test prep center tells us that they recently moved to the shopping center. They tell us the vicinity of the shopping center they are in, but not the exact suite number. So I head off to the area wanting to sign up for a class. I'm expecting at least a sign telling me where the test prep place is located, can't find it. I check the directory, nothing. I go all over the vicinity, nothing. I try calling, the number I have is the old location and it's been disconnected. I ask a few restaurants and they have no clue. I've been wandering for 20 minutes and getting very frustrated. I then notice an office that is related to the college. Maybe I'm not the only student that's wandered, maybe they might know. I walk into a receptionist who I'll call Virginia. She had a pack of Virginia Slims in front of her, greets me. I tell her my dilemma and ask if other college students might have asked where this place is. Virginia says she's unaware of the test prep office, but she'll gladly help. She pulls out the directory, no mention of the office. She then decides to call the property manager. Property manager tells her the location and the two businesses it's in between. Property manager explains that they only moved in a week ago, so things haven't been updated yet. Virginia gets off the phone and tells me the office is only a few doors down from the office we're in. Should I get lost, it's between the pool hall and a Mexican restaurant. I thank Virginia profusely and make my way. I find the office, there's a handwritten sign on the door. I walk in and talk about classes. A few weeks later, the office painted large bright signs in their windows. Virginia, wherever you are, thank you for helping me, even though you didn't have to. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, we have one from a user called Opus the Penguin. It says, I love stories like this, thank you. Virginia didn't need to say anything more than, nope, sorry, good luck to you. Instead, she took a minute to leverage connections that you didn't have and put you on the right track. I bet she felt a little happier all day too. Wholesome I Don't Work Here Lady stories are pretty good, but a part of me sitting back and going, where's the Karen? I miss the Karen. Another thing to think about here as well is part of the test being actually able to find the place. This story comes to us from Dapper Captain 5261. No, I can't tell you where the car rentals are. No, I don't know how you can request assistance. Leave me the F alone. So I work at a fast food place within the airport. I don't work for the airport at all. I don't know anything about the amenities and accommodations or anything else besides chicken sandwiches. But somehow between my uniform and my resting bee face, I always get approached by passengers asking me crap about the airport that I don't get paid enough to know in the first place. The first incident is when I just clocked in and was on my way to TSA when a passenger stopped me to inquire about car rentals. I told her, quite annoyed actually because I need to go through TSA before the line gets longer, that I don't have a clue, but if she goes to guest services, they can help her. Not good enough. She held me against my will until I gave her a random direction. That's when I realized I have to be rude to these people. The same for people looking for the TSA or the exit. All they had to do is read the effing signs. Anyway, earlier one morning, I was getting coffee from a kiosk when a bunch of passengers were deplaning. An elderly lady stopped me and demanded to know why I didn't bring a wheelchair with me when I knew she needed assistance getting around. I looked nowhere near an airport worker, much less a passenger assistant. I pointed at the actual assistant wheeling the chair from the gate the lady just walked out from. Like, how the F did she walk clean past an actual airport worker with a wheelchair looking at a girl wearing a fast food uniform getting coffee from a kiosk and go, yep, she's my personal assistant? Another time is when I was going back in from break. The entrance door to the back of house happened to be next to the elevator that leads to the VIP lounge upstairs. As I was punching in the passcode, a passenger stopped to ask me about the menu for the lounge. I told him that I don't know, which annoyed him, and he pulled the "don't you work here" card. Nah, F that, I got smart with him. I told him that unless he wants chicken sandwiches from the chicken sandwich place, I can't help him, but to also try our food since I heard it's way better and affordable than whatever they served upstairs. I went inside before he could say anything else. I could go on, but it'll be a long post. I'd really love to hear your guys' opinion on OP in this one because to me, OP sounds like somebody who's just angry with life. Being at the airport for OP is a normalized experience. They've been doing it for a long time, they work there, and that's just how it is for them. But for a lot of people traveling through that airport, it is an anxiety-ridden experience that they just don't want to do. Somebody needs to explain to OP that it takes a lot less energy to be nice to people and tell them where they can go to get the information they need than it is to be angry all the time and then fuming afterwards about the experiences. If you enjoy daily Reddit stories, I encourage you to follow and add us to your favorites on whichever podcasting platform you enjoy the most. And if you're watching and listening on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video. It really helps us out. I thank you for watching and listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.